Hello everybody. Now we could do it this way, where I sit here and you sit there, or we could do it another way. If Mum's timed everything perfectly and played the video at just the right time, if you guys all look over to the main door I should be walking through right now. No? Okay, I guess we'll just do it this way then. Growing up with Hannah, me and her share a lot of silly memories together. A few embarrassing, a few not so embarrassing, but today I'm going to share a little of both. One example would be when we were younger, my mom and dad would take us to Fun for Kids several times, and we really enjoyed that. And when we were really young, they had this thing where they would take your picture and it would get laminated and it would look like you're on the front page of the newspaper for Fun for Kids, and it would say, Oliver and Hannah were the stars of the show or something like that. And for 3 years in a row, me and my sister believed that that's how it worked and that we actually were on the front page of the paper, and we were really happy, and we would put the laminated prints up on our bedroom walls. And it's kind of a bit of a bubble burster when we found out that every second kid had one, but it was still a really nice memory that we shared. Another memory that my sister and I share was from when we were both a lot younger. And I was sick. I'm not too sure what I was sick with or what the result ended up in the end, but I know I needed a blood test. And even still to this day, I'm very scared of needles and scared of doctors. So to be a little kid and have to get a blood test was a pretty big thing for me, and I was an absolute mess. I went in, I cried, I screamed the whole time, everybody heard it and stuff. But there was one little bit of solace that came from that experience. They provided me with a certificate. And the certificate read, I was very brave and got my blood tested. And I was very proud of that. So that also I put on display, and it only took about 2 nights. And then after 2 nights of me having that out proudly, my sister snuck into my room while I was sleeping with a Sharpie. And in her 4-year-old handwriting, or however old she was at the time, she scribbled out the word brave and wrote scared and cried. So the only good thing that came out of that whole experience, my sister tarnished for me. A routine that me and my sister had for a couple of years when we were a little bit younger was, we would call it Chronicles. And what we would do to help us sleep at night, we had a little section of the house that was sort of ours, and we would both sleep with our bedroom doors open because we could hear each other speak that way, and then we would take turns telling stories. And the aim of the game was I would tell a story up until the point she laughed. And then once she laughed, it was her turn to say the story, and she had to tell me the story up until the point I laughed. And we would do this every night until one of us fell asleep. And then that was a really a fond memory of when we were younger. I am really pleased as well that you played Mario Kart with me as often as you did. Because I know the type of person I am. I'm not a very good winner, I'm not a very gracious winner, and I would say I probably won 99% of the time. So the fact that you would continue to play with me, despite knowing the outcome, really does mean a lot. And I feel I would be doing you a disjustice if I didn't mention the strawberry milk story. When me and Hannah were younger, we really loved chocolate milk, strawberry milk, still do actually. And every now and then as a little treat, my dad would bring home a 2-litre Oak. It didn't happen often, and when it did happen, it would make us super excited. So anyway, one day, it was the school holidays, and Hannah comes running into the lounge room, really excited. In hand, she has a 2-litre strawberry Oak. And it was almost as if the whole thing had happened in slow motion, because rather than holding it by the handle, she had her hands wrapped around it on top of the label. And as if in slow motion, she says, Oliver, look what we've got, as she's shaking it, but the whole 2-litre container slips out of the label stays in her hand, the 2-litre container falls out of the bottom, hits the ground and just explodes. We have carpet, went all over the carpet, went all over the walls, it stained the roof, it went on the kitchen table, it went just absolutely everywhere. And I could only imagine the roller coaster of emotions that must have been for you to have the strawberry milk that meant so much to you, and in 1 second just to have it just explode. So that's something that I'll never forget, and I hope you never forget. Another thing that I got to commend you on that I'm sure a lot of sisters have to endure, but I know for a fact that you did, would be when I would come home from school and I would sit there and watch wrestling for 3 hours, and then I had to practice them on somebody. So unfortunately for you, you'd waltz into the lounge room, and before you know it, it picked you up and done a WWE move, and it was rinse and repeat. You'd tell mum, I'd get in trouble, yet the next day it would happen again. And I thank you for enduring all that, and hope I didn't do any permanent damage in the long run. With all jokes aside, Hannah, I just want to say that I'm very proud of the young lady you've grown up to be over the last 21 years, and I really look forward to following your life for the next 21. I want you to know that everything's going to fall into place and it's going to work out the way that it's meant to be, and I know that for a fact. So enjoy the night, enjoy the week. It's your birthday, it only happens once a year. I love you so much, and I'll see you when I see you. I'm sorry I missed another one, but maybe I'll make it for 22, 23.